I have to be honest. I'm rather impressed with Stacey Abrams. Honestly, full on impressed with Stacey Abrams. I'm used to Democrats being invertebrates who put a little water on them, put them under the light of day, and their spines disintegrate, or whatever was there that we were pretending to be a spine. That doesn't necessarily have any political direction, in as much as I am not the Republican. And when it gets to a point where the election is getting down, to the end, despite being cheated, despite them knowing they were cheated, despite them knowing that there was voter suppression, despite them knowing that the Republicans that were in office had engaged with voter shenanigans in order to suppress the demographic that they themselves require to get in office, that they bow out, they bid good day, and they stumble off the stage. That's what I'm used to. That's what I'm accustomed to. So when I see this strong black woman, and mind you, she could be white, I would say the exact same thing. She could be Asian, I would say the exact same thing. She could be a blue alien. But strong, that refuses to concede. You've cheated me, sir. This media is not accepting that you've cheated me. They're not owning up to the fact that you cheated me because they're trying to keep this to a veneer of democracy. I will burn this shit to the ground if I need to burn it to the ground. Because for all intents and purposes, if you can get away with what you got away with, there is no democracy. It doesn't exist. It is a fig leaf. At that point, ultimately, you've been able to cheat and game the system and get away with it. If I allow that to take place, as the other Democrats before me, I allow the propagation of this and guarantee that it will take place again. This ends now. Whereas one person, Stacey Abrams, was trying to get more people into the voting process. This grand and glorious display of democracy and trying to add more and more people to the voting process. Half of this country don't vote. And I always ask myself, why aren't they getting that other half? The majority of the country is for Medicare for all. The majority of the country is for free college. The majority of the country is for $15 minimum wage. The majority of the country is for expansion of Social Security. If the majorities are in those directions, why? Why aren't they getting those people? Why aren't they going for those votes? Even when they tally it up in the presidential elections, they tally it up as if that 50% is a lost cause. And I'm stuck sitting at home with my thumb in my ass asking, why are they a lost cause? Why aren't you getting that 50% that don't vote? You can look at the polls, you can look at the numbers, you can see where America is. Why aren't they voting for you? Why have they chosen to sit at home and vote neither? Because fact of the matter is, sitting at home is a vote. It's voting neither. Whether those people engage in politics or whether they sit at home, politics will engage them. It may be to the best or it may be to the worst, but it will engage them nonetheless. Their no vote or their non-vote is a vote. It's just a vote for neither. You didn't engage them. That was your responsibility. Yes, I would love for people to be in civics and into the civic discourse. I would love for people to take that stuff in school and argue and debate and come up with ideas on what they themselves believe in. I would love if school put in a strong component of societal glue. We're in it together. Rational human beings. This is what society looks like when we allow this to fall apart. This is what society looks like when we allow the least of us to remain the least of us. Civic discourse of rational human beings taught amongst the schools, bantered about amongst the students. So when they grow up, they're involved in the political discourse. But the catch here is there needs to be something to actually get involved in, meaning there needs to be somebody to vote for. It's not enough to just want X or Y. That needs to be somehow articulated within the political edifice itself. Enter one Stacey Abrams. Now, in this particular case, what I like about Stacey Abrams is that she has the strength enough to do what many other Democrats didn't. The invertebrate in Florida, Gillum, resigned before every vote was counted. His back broke in two, and he just got unravel. Piece of spaghetti. Stacey Abrams said no. Stacey Abrams said no. The latest story on this is that Stacey Abrams has filed a lawsuit because she wants every vote to count. And she is going to get every vote to count, or at the very least, do her damnedest. Stacey Abrams files new lawsuit in Georgia election. Georgia Democrat gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams has filed a new lawsuit in her effort to force a runoff in the too-close-to-call election. In the lawsuit filed Sunday, Abrams is seeking to block two counties from rejecting absentee ballots with minor mistakes, according to Washington Post. Think about this. One side of it says, yes, I want all the people to vote, all Americans to vote. People who have a God-given right and a constitutional right to vote, I want them to vote. And the other side says, niet. We don't want those people to vote. No mas. No more. Isn't that weird? This grand, glorious display of democracy, the greatest democracy on the planet. And one of the political sides says, yeah, we don't need those people to vote. That's remarkable. It's like a banana republic. Abrams has not yet conceded the election, though Republican Brian Kemp has declared victory. She shouldn't concede. Under no circumstances should she concede. Kemp holds a lead, fewer than 59,000 votes, with 100% of the precincts reporting, but Abrams' campaign maintains that there will be enough uncounted ballots to trigger a runoff election. A runoff will be required if Kemp's percentage falls below 50%. His vote total is now 50.3. There's only a 0.3 difference. Count those votes. The lawsuit also asks county officials to count provisional ballots from voters who have changed the address but not updated their voter registration, and seeks to extend the deadline to certify the election results. Abrams' campaign manager, Laura Wago, told Sunday reporters the campaign does not have confidence in the Secretary of State's office according to the Post. The bottom line is the race is not over, she said. It is still too close to call. Kemp, the one who's Secretary of State and was presiding over the election that he was running in, and wouldn't resign from his post while he was running in that race, has now resigned. Job done. Job done. We're finished. Caper's complete. Let's call it a day. Take a Coke and a smile. Done. Done. Well, Stacey Abrams doesn't think so. And to her credit, she's not letting the shit rest, nor should she. Nor should she. They're trying to steal an election in Georgia. In the open. The media watches and finds something else to keep its time. In one of the major states, the election being taken based on shenanigans that the Secretary of State, Republican Secretary of State, was involved in while in that state. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here, folks. One side doing everything that they could to suppress the number of people to vote, and the other side trying to get as many people to vote as they want. There's a such thing as a positive freedom and a negative freedom. The positive freedom being, hey, I want as many people to vote as possible because, hey, that's fucking democracy. And you can say they may be advantageous to the Democrat in this, but you need to ask yourself, why is that advantageous to the Democrat just to have the people to vote? Come on. But that's what's taking place. Stacey Abrams fighting to the bitter end. God bless her for it. She's doing God's work. I end this here. Thanks all. If you enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe, and you can always support through PayPal or Patreon. Thanks everyone.